So right now, you're deep into mission analysis during the military decision-making process. You've done the preliminary analysis of your available assets and shortfalls, clarified and fully understood the constraints that higher headquarters has established for the unit, and you're identifying critical facts and developing initial assumptions. And now you're going to begin the risk management process, or sub-step 7 of the mission analysis set. First, risk is inherent in all operations, and it can't always be avoided. So we have to identify the risks, mitigate them, and then accept them. Planners conducting the initial risk assessment identify obstacles that may prevent us from accomplishing our mission. And we use historical data, intuition, and judgment. We consider the probability of potential loss. Is it very likely, questionable, or unlikely? And then what are the consequences of that risk? Does it make us unable to achieve critical objectives? Remember, when you identified available assets and resources, you may identify a risk that you cannot mitigate, but maybe the capability to mitigate that risk rests somewhere in the higher headquarters task organization. An adjacent unit might also be able to help. Throughout mission analysis, you've probably identified gaps in information that you need for further planning and decision making. And sub-step 8 is to develop initial information requirements. And there are certain information requirements that are so important that the staff nominates them to become Commander's Critical Information Requirement, or CCIR. And we have another Doctrine Digest about this as well as a podcast episode on Breaking Doctrine, Foxhole Fundamentals. That's a great resource. But here's a quick tip. These should always be current and relevant to the operation, meaning you should have different requirements for different phases of an operation. The boss won't care that a bridge that you passed yesterday is now congested. Consider whether or not it matters. And now we're going to develop the initial information collection plan. Information collection is an activity that synchronizes and integrates the planning and employment of sensors and assets, as well as the processing, exploitation, and how we'll disseminate that information in direct support of current and future operations. And this plan sets in motion intelligence operations, surveillance, and reconnaissance. The intelligence staff will create the requirements management tools, but the operations officer is responsible for the plan. Why? Because this involves tasking, which will come out of the 3-shot. As before, what assets do we have available, or more importantly, what are our limitations? So the 3-shop and the intel staff need to sync and integrate information collection activities into the overall plan. Okay, so we're halfway done with mission analysis. Again, check out the Breaking Doctrine Foxhole Fundamental episode on CCIR and ATP 5-19 Risk Management, as well as your staff reference guide, ATP 5-0.2-1. And you can download your doctrine from the Army Publishing Directorate website at armypubs.army.mil.